There we go. Now there's California trees in the back. Ew, you burped over there and it totally just landed in my face. I tasted every bit of that.
Who did?
You did. Did you stand up and go?
No, I burped.
You burped? Oh, it was you, you nasty. I thought it was up there and then it like floated down.
As soon as it turned up, I just looked like,
No!
On camera. Can you
It
taste
was
it?
You fucking really taste the rainbow, you know that? Alright. Okay, so Ricky, how did you first meet Bear?
We actually met at VCC, which is Valley Christian Center, and it was some sort of event going on, and I was watching one of the youth pastors' little tent because he was selling like wristbands, promoting the youth group, and then Bear, he just kind of stepped down and we just started talking. It was when I was younger, when I was probably like, I don't know, like 16, something like that.
Yeah.
That was like...
Yeah, no, I was about to start sponsoring, I think it might have been like, was it one of the skate events?
It wasn't a skate.
No.
I think no. Yeah, it was. It was one of the skate.
I helped throw a couple skate events. We had like pro skaters and BMXers come in that are of Christian faith, right?
Yeah.
And they do like cool tricks in our parking lot and shit. We had like underground rappers come in, all sorts of stuff when I was sponsoring. No, but like I think it was at one of those, and yeah, because you don't live that far from there.
No.
And when we did the events, it was a lot more public outreach than just like the church.
Yeah.
In fact, we barely like advertised a lot of that stuff to the church. It was mostly for the neighborhood.
Yeah, we actually went around putting up flyers around the neighborhood and some of the apartments across the street. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But then, I think I just started talking to him because fairly positive. Just the youth pastors don't know what to do with metalheads, and I was a metalhead, and they were like, "You know how to talk to these kind of people. Here you go over there." Like, that's pretty much what that is.
This is your problem now.
No, because I remember there was just a whole group that's was of kids like in that era when you were in there that would all sit in the same general area.
And we just talked because we were like...
And then I would go sit with them because none of the other sponsors were really...
Because I wasn't like in the group like, because it was like a high school clique, like you had like the jocks and the preps, and I just hung out with the emo kids and we just sat around just talking, or we wouldn't even participate in like the games that they had. We'd just sit there and talk and mess around.
Well, I'd make sure you guys were semi on point.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Oh, you were the guy that they had to go to for
I was
guidance?
the youth sponsor. As in, like... So, basically how it works is there's, like, an adult youth pastor who's, like, a credentialed person by some non-credentialed agency that credentials pastors, right?
Uh-huh.
So, there's that guy. That's the main guy, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's a bunch of volunteers anywhere from the age of, like, 18 just out of high school. But the church had, like, a policy where they tried to tell you to, like... go be an adult for a year and come back. You know what I mean? Because people would just not want to leave the youth group, right? Mm-hmm. So, from like 18 or 19 on to like, there was a couple sponsors that were just like old, that don't make sense. But most of them are chill, they're cool enough to be around kids. But it's like, there's like one dude, Randy, he was like totally like 70 when he stopped sponsoring. But no one knew, really, that he was, like, 70. Until he was like, I'm not going to sponsor no more. And you're just like, really? And he's like, yeah, I feel too old. And then someone's like, how old are you? And he's like, 71. And we were all like, what? Oh, dude. No, but I remember, like, just like high school, the kids have cliques. So there's, like, an emo metalhead clique. And then there's, like... Valley Teen Ranch, they would bring those kids in, so there's like a really like actual gangster clique.
The troublemakers.
There's like actual troublemakers that have like guards sitting next to them clique. Yeah. And then there's wannabe troublemaker hip hop kid clique. Then there was like the majority are like
super preppy.
Suburban preppy
or just like jocks.
Drive 20 minutes to church people. and or jocks and stuff too. Yeah.
So
but,
what
I mean,
did-
like the normie people.
And then you actually had the geeks.
So because it's clicky, but because it's clicky, naturally what they did, like the youth pastors did, is they took the people that best fit the cliques that were sponsors and just put them with the cliques.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Because like Nikki and everybody, they would, like, if I wasn't sitting with them, like, because they tried to move me a couple times, and you guys just all acted nuts. Like, because they had no respect. Like,
I gotta ask, though, so what was your impression of Robbie when you met him?
He just pretty much, like, just started talking to me, because I was just sitting there watching a booth, helping selling stuff for one of the youth pastors, and we just started talking. And it's funny that some of our conversations, like, weren't even, like, church-related or church-appropriate.
Did he have a beard then?
Yeah, he did. It just wasn't as thick.
He already had a beard?
He had, like, a little goatee going.
Oh, okay. So that was, like, or he was younger then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I pretty much...
They knew I was in there through the bald days.
I pretty much just looked the same.
You...
Yeah. No, he looked
You
almost
weren't like,
exactly the
screw
same.
this guy because he's an authority figure or something? You were just like,
No,
oh, he's
we
cool.
just started talking and we were just like, okay.
I never acted like an authority figure.
Yeah.
I acted like a high schooler. In fact, no, it's why they removed me for a little while and they tried to place me with someone else. But then the real thing was they
Nobody
respected
cared about
they
you.
respected me enough where if I was quiet, they'd stay quiet because I wanted to listen or something.
Yeah.
Almost, you know what I mean? But then when, like, I remember there was like a couple times like they took me and my cousin Andrew and put us on the other side of the freaking room, right? And like, because Andrew started doing the audio booth and they told me to go back there and help him. Well, the pastor told me the next, like, after that service, he was like, no, I don't want you back there with Andrew anymore. I need you back over there with the kids.
That's funny.
Where you were before. And I was
you
like,
more help over here.
No, I got fired. I got asked to stop doing that. If you're watching this, I don't really care. I didn't sign a contract. So
Yeah.
I got asked to stop sponsoring because when I worked at Fright Night Scream Park, I did drag, right? As a character. And plus I accepted an award in a Speedo. And the guy legit sat me down and said, I'm not even name which one it was, but if you remember when I left, then you have your answer. When they sat me down and they were like, you're promoting homosexuality. And I started laughing my ass off because I love vagina. Like, I think I said that to him.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you're not helping your case, Robbie. And I was like, I don't care if I'm helping my case. I'm just speaking the God-given truth. You're putting slander in my mouth based on my clothes. Blah, 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 blah. I got paid for that, fool. What do you get paid to do? Talk to kids. Like, it was beautiful. Like, I went off. And then I went, like, one more Sunday and was like, this could be my last Sunday, guys. I'm retired from sponsoring.
Oh my gosh.
But no, I think our first conversation was, I think, when we just, like, started, like, asking, like, small talk basic questions, like, how are you and stuff like that. And then we somehow went from that to talking about Guitar Hero.
Music.
Yeah,
Music,
music and guitar. And then we went from that to talking about how we're both anarchists and what we believe in anarchy and what anarchy is to us.
Yeah, and then, well, because a lot of people, well, it's like, a lot of people were intimidated by you in the beginning, too, that I remember.
I don't remember that. Who was
No, like, literally just some upper people were just, like, intimidated by your presence, didn't know how to talk to you, just like they don't know how to talk to me. I'm just being
Well,
real.
if you're all in
I
black
know,
and
I'm
you got
just
the
being
emo
real.
kind
Oh,
of
because-
goth look,
I was 100 times worse than this. I ran on with the
Oh, no,
hoodie.
he was more emo than he is now.
well, then, yeah, what do you expect? People don't
He was
look at
more
that and
dark.
they're like,
No,
oh,
no,
that
that's
person's
what I'm
probably
saying.
got a
Like,
nice
they
soul.
were-
They go, oh, no, that person's got
No,
problems.
I used to, when I was in high school, I got prayed for demons to leave my body all the time.
Who hasn't had demons prayed to leave
Well,
their
yeah,
body at
I
one
know.
point in
So
time
what
or
I'm
not,
saying
you know?
is we're all three of us sitting here are from the same culture of gothic emo-ish.
Well,
Okay?
the thing is,
So they're just kind of...
besides these piercings, I mean, I downgraded because I used to have like 2 right here.
Yeah.
And then I'd have like my shark bites, and then I'd have 1 in the middle between the shark bites, and then the 2 right here, and then I had I actually had a tip on my tongue pierced, where it went like this, and I had tongue, 2 balls sticking right there, and then I just like started downgrading, and I always wore a hoodie. It was like my favorite hoodie.
I know. I'm not saying I was afraid of you.
I know, but
just being real as fuck right
but
now.
I didn't.
There was definitely a few people.
I didn't even know there was a few people that intimidated me.
Well, if
I
you
don't
dress
wanna
like
say
that, you're gonna
some of the
assume
names.
somebody is going to be
Just say some
intimidated
names. I
by
don't
it.
even go there anymore, dude.
Okay,
Well,
so the youth pastor right after Ryan Davis,
Uh-huh.
he still goes there. He mostly does the fireworks big lot.
You're gonna have to actually say your name.
Just you guys, just.
Well, it's because besides that,
Yeah.
it's because when I first went to that church, I was fresh out of jail.
Yeah.
I was just released from jail, and
Go get me some Jesus.
Yeah, well,
Out of jail.
I never
well,
did.
that's the thing. And
Yeah.
then so I told Dave, who was the police officer there, and then I guess it got.
Oh, Dave is totally someone that told me I need to keep an eye on you.
Yeah, because
But then I told him that he had nothing to worry about, and he said, "That's what I say about you."
Yeah, but like it was because I was like 18 and I was a sophomore and I was fresh out of jail,
Yeah.
and like I wasn't in juvie, I was in actual jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, like getting shanked in the shower jails,
Yeah.
And I went to, before that, I was in 7th grade, and they sent me to Gladiator School, which is CYA, which is like prison for youth.
Oh wow.
Everybody I've talked to that's done real time at CYA says it's harder than prison.
Well, yeah, because it's called
Well,
Gladiator School.
Yeah,
you actually,
because people that go in there thinking they're going to real prison and think that they're going to the movie prison, so they go in there fighting the second they get in, and they don't stop.
yeah.
And they stab way more people in CYA than they do in real prison. If you look at someone, like, you know how on TV, if you look at someone like this, you're gonna die in prison.
Yeah.
Right. That's semi-real.
Drop the soap.
That's semi-real in CYA.
Well, and then the
that's
reason,
not real.
No, then the reason why that would be is no, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the same reason you should be more afraid of a baby snake or a baby scorpion than you should an adult, and it's because the babies don't know
How much poison they give.
Yeah, and so they'll give all of it because they are scared. They're young. They don't freaking know. They
Well,
don't want to be
these
the
are
victim.
kids all
They've
with
already
like
been the
assault
victim.
with a deadly weapon.
Yeah,
or-
so
I was just in there for aggravated assault.
Yeah, something like assault or assault.
Well, the thing is, I got sent there because it was because I kept on getting in and out of jail. I've been in and out of juvenile hall since I was 9 years old.
Yep.
So I was labeled as a high security threat. But for that was just petty stuff like ripping off like grocery stores and like just like stupid shit any kid would do, like stealing video games or.
I wouldn't do that as a kid.
Well,
Stealing
just
is stupid.
Any
Stealing
kid,
is stupid.
Any kid without enough guidance would do.
Okay, any kid without it. Well,
yeah. And I told you I came from a broken home and stuff like that. Well,
I'm not putting you down. I was just
I know,
stating
I
my
know.
preference
I know.
on my own.
I know, but like I was skateboarding in a parking lot at a grocery store, and they had a rent-a-cop come up to me and say, "Hey, you gotta put that away." And I'm like, oh, "Okay." Just skated everyone, kept on skating, and then he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I told you, you can be on the premises. You can't skate around." Oh, okay, one more time. And he's like, "No, one more time." And he tries to take the board with me. I pull my board back, and I told him, "Don't touch my board." And he goes to grab me, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm warning you, don't touch my board." He grabs my board, and I'm taking it back and just slapping him upside the head, and then just skating off. And then like 5 minutes later, like half a block down the street, like got the
Actual cops.
Actual cops got me.
Yeah, because you hit him with a skateboard.
Yeah, and I was and it was supposed to be aggravated assault, but since he was a rent-a-cop, it was aggravated assault on a peace officer.
Oh.
They call security guards peace
They wanted to get me. So it went from a
He probably pushed charges. Do you want to press charges? Hell yeah.
No,
I want to press charges.
my homie got attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon and got put in juvenile life in CYA for throwing an aerosol can at his foster dad because his foster dad was chasing him around the house with a belt. So he threw a fucking like a pine sol can at him. It hit him in the head and made him bleed. And his foster dad's decision was, "I'm going to call the cops now."
Yeah.
And then the cop showed up and arrested the
There needs to be like a test that people take before they can be foster parents, before they can be regular parents, all this, because like this is all BS. No wonder we're having so many baby kids being born.
And the thing is, like, it was like a 1 year charge because it was aggravated assault and I did crack the guy, and it didn't crack his skull.
Yeah, you were
Well, it could
aggravated, so you had to assault the
But
guy.
it was going to be attempted murder because they said you could have cracked a skull. That's attempted murder. But I only gave him a few stitches. But so it went from being, you know.
That's so stupid. They're
went,
ready to ruin your life over that.
It was going to be a serious charge, jumped to a minor charge, then dumped to a
Depends on how you hit him too, though.
Yeah.
I had the board side. I didn't hit him with the wheels because I would have hit him.
You hit him with the deck.
Yeah, if I would have hit him with the fucking wheels, he would have been dead. And then,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I hit him with the
sideways with the like.
Because
with
I knew
the bolts,
because I knew if I would have hit him with the wheel, he'd be dead. So I slapped him with the deck. But it still cracked, and they said, "Oh, you could have cracked his skull. You could kill him." So you're like, "Well, since you didn't kill him, it's just going to be assault, like aggravated assault." And they said, "Well, since he's technically a peace officer, you're charged with aggravated assault on a peace officer."
Good Lord.
So instead of doing a 1-year stint, I wound up doing almost a 3.5-year stint, and I was like in 8th grade when it happened, and so I was in. And since I was...
That sets you back, yeah.
Yeah, and since... I made up my credits at Violent Hines, which is where they send them for
But it sent you back in more than
way. In your brain,
yeah, it like sets you back mentally.
Yeah.
Well, because it sends you... Well, that sends you to a place that you have to do a different kind of growing up real quick.
Well, the thing is,
That explains why you're so stoic, to be completely honest.
The thing is, like, I've been in house regional since I was 9, and since I had, like, a list of just things, they like, you're a potential threat, you know. And the thing is that after that, I wound up actually stabbing a guy and going back. Yeah. So what they did was I was in juvenile hall, but I was in a lockdown part of the juvenile hall called J-Pod, which is where they put all the murderers and...
Yeah, my homie was a J-Pod.
Rapists. Yeah. And then after I stabbed the guy, they're like, well, we gave you a chance of being, you know, in juvenile hall where you actually can get more help. No, we're just going to send you to Gladiator School, man. I have, like, another phone for, like, 2 years. And it was sitting in there, and I actually got stabbed in there.
I believe it.
I think that everybody gets stabbed when they go there. I don't think anybody gets out not stabbed.
My homie told me a bunch of stories, like, and
they stay in school.
You can see he's my age. You can still see the fear in his eyes from some of the shit he's seen. You know what I'm saying?
There's certain people when you walk too close behind them, they fucking freak out because they're afraid they're gonna get stabbed or they're afraid something's about to happen.
The thing is that I was sent to the mental part of it, like where they put like they're mentally insane. Because I was considered mentally insane because I had a shit ton of shit wrong with me, from being emotionally disturbed, from coming from broken homes and shit that's happened to me in the past, to...
Well, you're probably comorbid. You're probably into some dark shit, so...
I've been.
You're into dark shit, though. That's my point.
But,
so you're me and her are both like that too.
Well, the thing is,
that's considered.
The thing is, I was even labeled with suicidal and homicidal tendencies, along with cannibalistic tendencies.
Isn't that crazy? The stuff they come out with you, and you're like, really?
Well, cannibalistic tendency came from because I actually got into a fight with a kid in there. And took a chunk.
Auto-cannibalistic, where I bite my fingernails and stuff, but I don't eat it.
The thing is I actually
took a chunk out Subway.
I bit a guy's arm, took a chunk and spit it back in his face and walked away. And the guy...
I have also done that.
I spit it back in his face.
I have also done that.
That's crazy. That's not fucking cannibalism.
You know,
it's a fact that I actually went and bit him and took a chunk.
I was young.
Arm. Yeah. The guards didn't even chunk. They didn't spray me or anything. They just let me walk back to my cell because, like, the fuck do we do? This guy just took a chunk of another...
They don't want to touch you. They're like, what, you get a Hannibal Lecter mask on him first?
Of course they do. Well, then at the same time, like, I feel like you made your statement, though. It's weird, because it's like...
here's how the whole fight started.
If you're not in there, and you're a guard and you're watching, you probably don't even understand. But then it's like, when you're one of those kids, and those kids are coming at you...
It's a fight for your life every day.
Yeah, you gotta... Like my cousin Rodney... He was in real prison, right? He was in there for more than 10 years. He says that, like, he had to turn himself into a racist. He wasn't a racist before. And he said he had to, because otherwise he would have been dead.
Because that's how prison works.
Yeah,
he would have been dead. Like, in the streets, it's gangs and, territory.
Yeah.
But when you're in prison, it's like, you have to drop your gang colors and join your race.
But he's like, that's just real prison, right? And real prison, he was telling me, like, he had to, like, stomp on a dude, and he was like...
To get protection.
You have to do that shit. So that, because otherwise people are going to come after you. But then I know people that went to CYA, and every one of them told me, like, it's like that they've been to prison too, you know what I mean? Most of them. And they'll tell you straight up, like, CYA is worse because those kids really don't know when to pull back the venom.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing is those kids know they got to make a statement. So if someone comes at them dirty at all, a lot of times they'll go.
They're waiting for that
They'll go way
moment.
farther.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. What happened? Here's how the whole fight started. So we get our snack, hot tray, which is like our meal. Well, it was our dinner tray. We're getting our dinner trays, and some of us had eaten ourselves. Some of us eat in cafeteria with guards. I was in the cafeteria, and just eating my food. And then he comes up, and he tries to take how some people actually take their snack seriously, like their cookies and shit, like
That's my shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's your one good thing you have,
Well,
or your
especially if
shitty
it's like
cookie
commissary
or whatever.
something, that's my money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, he tried to take, some of my snacks. I'm like, dude, you're not taking my snack. He's like, bitch, what'd you say? I'm like, you're not taking my snack. And I yelled at him saying it. He's like, he stand up and said it. So I got up and said it. I'm like, you're not taking my snack. He's like, okay, watch your back. I'm like, okay. Went back to eating. Well, he went back to his thing, and he was eating, and we had to put our hot trays on the thing. And its rules happened to be right behind me with two guards, but weren't even really paying attention because they're busy talking to each other. So he comes up behind me, goes to put his tray on the thing, and what happens is he comes around and starts trying to choke me out. So I grab his arm back like this and bit into his arm, took a chunk out. He let go, and then I got back and turned her out, and I'm with this blood down my face, and he's just looking at me, and I just straight up spit it back in his face, and I just went back to myself.
Yeah.
And then the guards were like heard him yell, and they turn around and they see blood on my face and a chunk of his skin on his, on the floor, and him just gushing blood, and they're just looking at me as I walk back to my cell, and I even close my cell door.
Yeah, but I bet you no one else ever is gonna sneak up behind you.
No one's
in
gonna
that
try to
cell.
take your snack anymore. I'm like, that
fuck the snack. Fuck the snack. To be real, no one's gonna try to choke him out from behind him because they know he's got the mindset where.
Well, that wasn't even the first time I got come up behind. I literally had a guy come up behind me and try to swing on me. I ended up grabbing him from behind, flipping him over onto the floor, and start punching him back. And that time I actually got tased.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
because this was right after I took the chunk of the guy's arm, though.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I was actually I'm not a newbie, not a street fighter. I was trained in 3 different martial arts growing up, so I'm not just gonna bite the fuck out of you. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you too.
What are the martial arts you know?
Taekwondo, Kung Fu, and Ninjutsu.
And what was the last one?
Ninjutsu.
Ninjutsu?
Ninjutsu.
Ninjutsu. I was like, Ninjutsu? I've never heard of
So
that one.
2 ones that teach actual technique and one that's semi-weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Ninjutsu's like theater, but it's badass theater.
Yeah. It's about fluidity, right?
Yeah.
So and they even the guards knew that because it will say on my thing, and people have told them when I got taken in there, because there's some cops I knew personally that lived down my street and brought me in. They went to some of my competitions, and when they were the ones that took me in, they're like, watch out, he's trained in 3 different martial arts growing up, and the cops are like, okay, whatever, and they just think it's bullshit. I was feeding him to be feared.
Yeah.
But no, once they actually saw me start fighting, because it's fight for your life. It's not like where you have groups of friends where you have backup in prison. No, it's a free for all. That's why it's called gladiator school.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And
There's riots and shit, just like
that's one of the times I got stabbed was by that kid, not the one I bit, but the one that I beat the shit out of for coming up behind me and flipped him over. He decided if he wants, I'm gonna kill him, so he came at me.
Well, yeah, because he's a bitch. Because you beat him up.
Yeah, and he came back.
And the only way he's not a bitch is if he kills you.
Well,
but then he didn't kill you, so he's still a bitch.
Well, because I saw a Schengen in his hand, and he came at me during that riot, and then he went like this, but I slapped his arm down, but he still got me, and so it got me in my arm. If I would never moved, slapped his hand down, I would got hit in the neck and just bled out. That's why I hit him. I'm like, I'd rather get a minor wound than a serious one.
Yeah.
So, because I knew either way I was fucked, because he came at me with the shank, so it was either die.
Yeah, you don't know if that's in his butthole or where he kept it. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. When he stabbed me, they do this thing called, not quarantine, but it was technically quarantine.
Basically, yeah. They want to make sure you don't.
They want to make sure I don't. They don't want to make sure I have AIDS, because there's some inmates. There's some inmates that come in there with STDs, because
I think they're gangrene and E. cold.
They test you for every.
They'll put that shit in their butthole.
Or I had.
So that you will get those diseases.
Well, no. Well, yeah, and then also because when they get a pat down, they could be all the way in their underwear and not have shit on them.
There was actually an inmate in there who had a type of herpes, genital herpes, and he pissed on a shank and went after a guard to give him herpes. And
yeah, because then if he just nicks
that's
them,
actually a chemical warfare at that point in time.
Yeah, well, spitting on someone is just in general.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, and when they put, it's just miserable. They like give you like these type of pills that to me are just like similar to chemo because you're just like always feeling sick, and it's just to kill any type of bacteria that's in your body. Because they test you for everything, whether it's just.
Well, and then they can't even figure out if you got AIDS for like 30 days.
Well, they test you
for sure.
They test you for everything though. I was in there for 2 months before I decided to let go. And they test you for like from hepatitis to an STD to just anything.
Wow.
Just because. No, that shit's fucked up, dude.
Hey, look, you guys, the smoke is going across the camera and it makes it look like there's little ghosts happening.
And the thing is just like after that I went to jail because I didn't learn my lesson, and they thought jail would be like a harder on me when actually compared to that, like jail's a fucking cakewalk compared to gladiator school. All you do is just like eat, sleep, and then get like an hour of yard time and then back.
You stay yourself and the right people, you ain't gonna be fucking.
Well, the thing is, I had family.
You know the rules. If that makes sense.
I had family in jail because I was here, but they shipped me all the way up to Arkansas.
Oh wow!
Because I had family up there, but they didn't know that. So I had one of my uncles in there who's doing life for like a double murder. And I had a couple cousins up there who were up there because they're gang related. I had one of my brothers up there with me, but he was doing short time. He was only doing like 6 months, while I had like a year stint under my belt.
Oh wow.
So, you know.
Yeah, that's not the kind of thing you want though. I'm in jail, family reunions, like fuck.
No, like when we all got the same yard time.
It just means you didn't have to fuck around, really.
Yeah, you had people watching your back.
Well, my uncle, he's
got respect.
He's AB. He's got respect.
Is he
I don't know what AB
is. Actual AB.
What does that mean?
Okay. Area Brotherhood. That means he's OG. He they haven't accepted people for like.
What does that mean?
They haven't accepted members for like 15 years. They did a cutoff.
Yeah, your cousin was telling us about that because he knows people who are in. But yeah,
there's associates now, right? There's a bunch of little mini gangs.
Mm-hmm.
They did a cutoff, but then they said that they may open it to the most savage.
Well, all I ever heard my uncle do is talk down on peg words. He's like, those are just a bunch of little kids being wannabes playing pretend.
Mm-hmm.
And I had brothers who were actually, just straight up gang members. Cousins who were straight up gang members who were part of the Cerveño and Norte gangs, the Mexican gangs. Mm-hmm. And my uncle completely hated them because, of their skin color and the fact that they were associating themselves with Hispanic gangs.
Yeah.
And just...
Not to mention, like, Cerveños is like...
Yeah.
La Raza affiliate. Like, that's not...
They're just the street version of the Mexican mafia.
Yeah, but politically, to someone in that era, they'd hate that.
So what's up with the lemons, though?
They're delicious.
Yeah.
He just likes lemons. We've discovered that.
Yeah. But the thing is just like, it wasn't the fact that we had a family reunion, we just all it wasn't more like us looking at each other, it was more like my uncle looking at me and then looking at my cousins and looking at my brother and just like we told like he's like, I understand that, you guys, have a hard time, but like, he even like had us get yard time with him because he knew he has connections to where we'll get yard time. And he actually had his son, the AB, look for us and rally me and my brother up to sit down and talk to us. He's like, you guys gotta straighten your shit out unless you want to be here like me. He's like,
you don't really want that, is what he was telling us.
Yeah,
it's not the life. Yeah.
He was just having a real talk. He's like, yeah, I may be, an OG AB, and I may have it easy in here because I know people. And he's like, but despite that, it's just complete shit. He's like, just because I'm high up doesn't mean there's not going to be some, newcomer wanting to take out an OG to get instant respect.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
they put a bunch of them in protective custody now because a bunch of them they're high hit targets.
Yeah, and so he was just like talking. He's like just because I know people doesn't mean I'm always going to be protected. He's like, there's always gonna be one time where I'm like going solo and end up getting shanked. And he's like, there's already been like 2 people ready to go after him.
We're with the wrong guard or something.
That's why, you know, he said he's already been came after twice. One of them was actually a hired hitman. Like, that's what he told me. He's like, he was an actual hired hitman. He was like a legit black market hitman, and he came after.
Went to prison on purpose, probably.
Yeah, to get to him. And one of them was just like some black guy rolling with some Bloods or Crips in there.
Oh, that's normal.
And then, well, the thing is, they said, I was pretty much a protection deal. They said if he takes out me, he gets into protection
Forever, probably.
Yeah, for as long as he's in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He'd get mad respect.
Yeah, and he said that's all that other one was. He's like, luckily, you know,
Area
one was a dumbass and the other one was just a stupid kid who really was like really no match for me. You know, I wound up beating the fuck out of that kid.
Everybody I've talked to, like of all races, like just says that AB is known to be savages and you don't fuck with them, and if you do, you better commit and you might die, even if you succeed. It's pretty much all I know.
And that's just the thing. Just like it was just like that was probably the last time I went to jail because of that talk with my uncle. And he even told me himself, like, if I ever catch you in here again, I'm not gonna protect your ass. You're gonna have to learn what it's really like to be what I had to go through in here.
I'm gonna end up having to click up, is what he's
Well,
saying.
Not just
that's
that.
a better deterrent, probably.
Well, not just that. Him saying he's like, I'm not gonna baby you. I'm not gonna tell guys to protect you. You're gonna actually have to do what I had to go through to get the protection and respect I had.
Exactly.
He's saying you're gonna have to get your hands dirty and be a big boy. He's like, if you want to, be in a big boy place, I'm gonna make you play a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
So weird that they talk like that. Too.
Yeah.
And he's straight.
It's like, this is the big boy house.
He straight up said, like, I'm not gonna protect you. I was like, I may be your family, but you're gonna have to learn one way or another to keep your ass out of here.
Well, I think that was for the best.
And it worked, because I believe him. He would do that. And like, I still love my uncle. He's still up in there. And in fact, not that long ago, I went up to visit him, and it was a pretty decent visit. He was actually surprised I actually listened to what he said. My mom was surprised that I listened to what he said.
Well, it's good. He probably needs that because that gives him hope that his, if he couldn't help himself, at least he could maybe help you.
Mm-hmm. He pretty much said, he's like, one of these days, if you do mess up, you're gonna be here with me, and he's like, you better hope to God we're not cellmates, because he's like, I'm gonna do what I do to get stuff. He's like, I would straight up sell you for a candy bar.
Shit.
He told me that one time too. He's like, if you're ever my soulmate, I'm gonna straight up sell you for a candy bar.
That's so funny. He's like, you too pretty, boy.
And
got a pretty mouth, boy.
That's pretty much how that worked. And ever since then, I haven't been back in. That was like the last time I ever went in. And that was the time I went back to high school as a sophomore straight out of jail.
Well, here's to you never going back. So.
And on top of that, I'm actually considered a 3-strike candidate. So if I do mess up, it's a life stint. So
don't do it.
Yeah.
I
don't know what you're doing in your life, but right now, for some reason, you're watching this.